Well, the Boonville community is now rallying around a local restaurant that caught fire last week. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach talks us through what happened and how the community is now helping the owners.
There was smoke coming out of the vents in the ceiling at front in the lobby. And so I hollered for my husband, and he came out, and we saw flames, and then it just filled the building. I mean, we just had to get everybody out.
Jacob and Kari Carey, owners of Pizza Italia in Boonville, watched their restaurant catch fire on August 19th. Fire crews responded right away, but the flames kept spreading.
No matter how much water and how many fire trucks were out here pouring water on it, it continued, the heat, the intense heat.
The couple has lived in Boonville since 2000 and opened the restaurant in 2012. Now they say everything is gone.
It's a total loss. Everything was a total loss. I mean, there's really not much more to say. It's all in the rubble behind us.
This restaurant was more than a business.
You know, they've seen our kids grow up in here with us. They're part of our everyday lives. We spend more time here than we do at home. This is, essentially this is home.
Since the fire, other local businesses are stepping up. Reed's Hometown Barbecue, just down the road, announced they'll donate a portion of their sales to help Pizza Italia rebuild. Jacob and Kari say this kind of support shows how close the Boonville restaurant community is.
Everybody thinks that all the restaurants are competition, but we're not. I mean, we're family, and we do whatever.
We want everybody here to do just as good as each every one of us.
And the support has reached far beyond Boonville.
Volunteers.
Outpouring of folks, the local community, the River Valley has reached out. A lot of folks from River Valley. It's just very humbling for us.
Still, the loss is overwhelming.
We're still in initial shock. We're finally starting to come into the reality that this was, our livelihood, and it's burnt down to the ground now.
But even in the ashes, they are holding on to hope.
Our faith in Jesus and our faith in each other as husband and wife, we're not worried about it. Like I said, we stay strong together, and like I said, we'll keep moving forward.
Covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Jacob and Kari say they're still assessing the fire damage and are unsure whether or not they will rebuild. They'll be posting updates on their Facebook page, Pizza Italia Boonville. Well, developing this weekend, the Crawford County Sheriff's Office says a man was arrested this weekend for murdering his husband. Gregory Witt is charged with first-degree murder in the death of Kevin Witt. Investigators believe the crime happened last Wednesday in a rural area. Gregory was arrested the following day. He remains in the Crawford County Jail tonight on a $1 million bond. Also developing this weekend, the Ridge Runner Cafe at Devil's Den has reopened. The restaurant temporarily shut down after the double murder of Clinton and Kristen Brink on one of the park's hiking trails. The suspect in the case is now in custody and facing 2 charges of capital murder. Most of the trails at the park have reopened, except for the main Devil's Den Trail, where police say the killings happened, and the Butterfield Trail, which was closed down earlier this year due to storm debris. A Northwest Arkansas nonprofit that helps people get out of poverty now wants to help end the housing crisis in Fayetteville. 5 News anchor Darren Bobb tells us how Circles NWA is teaming up with the city of Fayetteville to come up with some meaningful solutions.
We are doing an event called Co-Create. This is a model that we've developed to get at community-driven solutions.
Circles NWA Executive Director Christina Williams says that effort will start with a 2-day event next month.
We're inviting community members that live in Fayetteville or Northwest Arkansas to come together with city leadership. And when I say community members, I'm talking about renters and landlords, realtors, developers, anyone, homeowners. Like, we want everyone to come together.
She says the issue is not new to her organization.
We worked really closely with City Council and the city to try to get a housing crisis declared last year, and that came out of one of our circle leaders bringing to our attention some of the housing issues that she was having at her apartment complex.
Williams says everything that is brought up will be tossed into 3 buckets.
And the buckets are stabilize and support renters. How do we do that better? Build more paths to home ownership, and then get creative about reusing existing space for housing in this community.
She says everybody involved has very high hopes for this 2-day summit.
It's an experiment in some ways. We don't know what people are going to, come up with. We don't know what's going to be said and shared, but I have a lot of confidence and excitement in our community and for all the different ideas that are going to pop up.
Covering news where you live, I'm Darren Bobb, 5 News.
The two-day summit will take place September 5th and 6th at Mount Sequoia. Williams says if you'd like to attend, you'll need to register before going. A major expansion is on the way for healthcare education in the region. UAMS is teaming up with local hospitals to train more nurse anesthetists, filling a critical gap in the state's healthcare workforce. UAMS announced plans to bring its certified registered nurse anesthetist program to the Northwest campus in Fayetteville by fall 2025. CRNAs are advanced practice nurses who specialize in providing anesthesia care for surgeries, emergency procedures, and pain management. The expansion is backed by $2 million from the Alice L. Walton Foundation, along with $500,000 each from Mercy and Washington Regional.
There is a growing number of nurse anesthetists who have gone ahead and retired, and so the workforce does not meet the state needs. And in Northwest Arkansas, we are seeing certainly healthcare population growth as well as a need for expansion in the healthcare arena.
This expansion is expected to add 18 new students over the next 5 years. UAMS leaders say the goal is to keep more highly trained providers in Arkansas, especially in rural areas where the need is greatest. And a new report out tonight shows the number of U.S. adults who say they drink alcohol has dropped to a record low. The survey by Gallup found that just 54% of adults say they drink. That's the lowest share since Gallup started tracking drinking habits back in 1939. For decades, that number has hovered around 60%. Of those who do drink, only about 1/4 said they had a drink in the past 24 hours, also a record low. And about 40% said it's been more than a week since they had a drink.